What's up, everybody? What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to my TikTok account. My name is Nicole, and this is Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction, and I share my life with you. I have been sober since July 13th of 2015. Every single night at 7:30 Central, we have a recovery live stream where you can come and get support and be around like-minded individuals like myself and others that join the chat. Last night, what we did was we had a story time. I told you guys my whole story. It took me about 2.5 hours, and I was rushing, but we got through it. So that was last night. If you missed last night's video and you're like, damn it, I wanted to hear your whole story, Nicole, I uploaded it over on my YouTube channel. For those of you guys that don't know, I have a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account. I have a Facebook group. It's all Real Talk Recovery. I would love for you guys to join me on all those platforms. So wherever you go, type in Real Talk Recovery and you'll find your girl. So come on in. Give the video a like, share the video, and invite some friends. Come on in, give the video a like, share the video, and invite some friends. Come on in, give the video a like, share the video, and invite some friends. Come on in, give the video a like, share the video, and invite some friends. Congratulations, Golden Bear. I'm proud of you, man. Very good. Hey, Kat, where you been? I haven't seen you in a minute, girl. Why don't we do this? Drop your sobriety dates in the comment section. Tell me something that you're grateful for. Then I want to know something. You know what? Squash the gratefulness. We're not doing gratefulness today. Sobriety dates, and I want you to type something in the chat that you're struggling with. Type something in the chat that you're struggling with today. And I'm going to be writing these things down, and we're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about everybody's thing that they're struggling with tonight. So come on in, everybody. Get yourself a seat. If you need to save your friend a seat, go ahead and save your friend a seat. Get your coffee. Get your Zuzus and Wham Whams and bonbons and jelly. All that bullshit. And come on. Let's see. What's today's date? Today is October 6th. And we're going to do struggles. Struggles. So, everyone struggles, you guys. Even people who've been sober for 45 years, okay? Mental health, okay? We all have things that, you know, we are struggling with. So, as people in recovery, one of the best ways to help ourselves with things that we're struggling with are to put those things out into the universe and get support and love from other people. Please share the live. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Missy. My weight. Okay, Chris. Weight. Hey, Tyler. Struggling with your bipolar disorder. Gotcha. Bipolar. So, I'm going to tell you guys this. Like, you want to know what I'm struggling with? I'm struggling with acceptance. I'm struggling with, so I'm the kind of person adding value to anything. I'm the kind of person that I want to make everyone happy. I want everyone to like me. And when somebody doesn't like me, it hurts me. It makes me sad. Hey, Cherry, what's up? It makes me sad. So I'm struggling with acceptance, okay? So you guys come on in, give me your sobriety dates, and let me know something that you're struggling with. Missy says she's struggling with the same thing. She just wants to fit in. So yeah, you guys, acceptance is like something that all of us, I think, struggle with. People can say, you know, oh, I don't care what other people think about me. I could care less. You guys, it is human nature to want to be a part of. It is human nature to want to be accepted, you know? Depression and back pain. Gotcha. It is human nature to want to be accepted by the crew, you know? And It's also super hurtful when you're in a community, being comfortable in my own skin. It's also hurtful when you're in a community and there are people that are trying to alienate you, like, out of the community, you know? That is why I have a no judgment rule, okay? Like, we do not judge people here. If you're in active addiction, you are welcome to be here. Anxiety. If you are in between getting sober, you know, and you're halfway sober, halfway not, you're welcome to be here. I want everybody to be here, okay? I want everybody to know that they have a place here on Real Talk Recovery. I'm never going to judge you where you're at, okay? But for the grace of God, there go I, okay? Being a part of something. Okay, gotcha. Being a part of, fitting in. If we can think of, you guys, if we can think of what it was like when we were struggling in our active addiction, then we can understand what somebody is going through when they are still using, when they're lying, when they're being dishonest, when they're in denial, you know? We understand because we've been there, you know? There's nothing to be ashamed of if you're someone who is not staying sober. You are in the right place, okay? If you have not been able to maintain or obtain sobriety, you're in the right place, okay? You need to be hanging out with people who are maintaining sobriety. You know why? That's what you do. If you want to be a soccer player, what do? You get coached by soccer players, right? You find a coach that knows how to play soccer. If you want to play the piano, what do? You hire yourself a piano teacher, okay? If you want to learn how to sing, what do? You hire a voice teacher, so a voice trainer. So that's what we're doing. We want to be sober, so we're hanging out with people who are sober. That's what we want to do. We want to learn how to stay sober, all right? You want to use to have energy. That's a good struggle. I understand that. I struggle with that too, girl. So write down, all of you guys that are just coming in, give me your sobriety date, or give me something that you're struggling with, either or. And so I've got down all these struggles. I'm fixing to read them to you. What we got, you guys. We have mental health struggles. We have weight. We have bipolar. We have adding value to anything. We have acceptance. We have depression and back pain. We have being comfortable in my own skin, anxiety and PTSD, self-confidence, being a part of, energy. These are all things that someone in this group is struggling with, okay? And I'll tell you all this right now. I'm struggling with almost all of these. Almost all of these are something I struggle with. I struggle with lack of energy. I struggle with my mental health. I struggle with my weight. I struggle with acceptance. I struggle with depression. I struggle with being comfortable in my skin. I struggle with my self-confidence. Okay? That's the truth. You know, I'm human. I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet. Like, it takes a lot of work, you guys, to get to a point where you're like not perfect, but you're feeling like good about your situation. You know what I mean? Like, I feel good about my life, right? I feel good about my life. Thanks, girl. Thanks, Samoan Princess. I feel good about my life, but I also am struggling with things in my life, you know, and I would be lying to you if I came on here and was like, yes, my life is perfect. I have nothing to worry about. So, okay, now that we have our struggles written down, now what we're going to do is we are going to read our meditation. So for those of you guys that don't know, every time we come to this meeting, okay, lack of interest, okay, every time we come into this meeting, you guys, we read our meditation before we start. And sometimes, most of the times, the meditation has something to do with what we are struggling with, okay? So, 306, that's what we're going to do. Okay, here we go. Listen up, listen up. Sometimes a horse refuses to obey the rider's command and races out of control. My thoughts can do this too. when I frantically try over and over to solve a difficult problem. Writing lessons have taught me not to continually repeat a command louder, but to stop the horse, get his attention, and begin again. Likewise, when my thoughts race out of control, I need to stop. I may do this by breathing deeply and looking at my surroundings. It can help to replace the obsessive thoughts with something positive, such as an Al-Anon slogan, the Serenity Prayer, or another comforting topic that has nothing to do with my problem. Later, I may want to think about the problem again in a more serene way with the help of a friend or a sponsor. When I put some distance between myself and obsessive thinking, I can better look at my situation without losing all control. Today's reminder: sometimes I have to let go of a problem before I can find the solution. My racing thoughts may be making me so much noise that I can't hear the guidance my inner voice is offering. Quieting the noise is a skill I can learn with practice. At first, I may have to still my thoughts again and again, but in Al-Anon, I learned the practice makes progress, 1 minute, one thought at a time. All men's misery derive from not being able to sit quiet in a room alone. Okay? So, I have to let go of a problem before I can find the solution. My racing thoughts may be making so much noise that I can't hear the guidance my inner voice is offering. So pause. That's what I hear. When I read this, I hear pause when agitated or doubtful. Okay? Pause. Close your eyes. Think about what's going on. How can I find the solution to this problem, right? So when we're going through life, you guys, and when we're sober and we're going through life, all day long we are coming into situations, okay, circumstances where we have to figure out, how am I going to respond in this situation? Let me give you an example. My son came home yesterday and he told me that there's a man on the playground who got on to him and made him miss his whole recess when he wasn't doing anything wrong. So I asked him exactly what happened, and he told me, and I said, well, I'll talk to your teacher about it, and I'll ask her to keep an eye on the man that's doing this. Now, this wasn't the first time my son has come to me and told me about this gentleman kind of pinpointing my son. So I messaged his teacher and said, I'm not trying to complain. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Maybe you could keep a lookout for Nate. Well, apparently the teacher went to school and said something to this guy, basically that my son had told me about him. And this teacher, this man, went up to my son, a little 7-year-old kid, this big-ass dude towering above my son, and said, "Did you tell your mom on me?" That pisses me off. My first automatic response was, where's he at? Show me who he is. Which one is he, Nate? Show me who he is. I'm fixing to go over to him and say, are you trying to intimidate my son? Like, first of all, me saying that to the teacher was to talk to her about it, to keep an eye out for Nathaniel. Because Nate can sometimes get caught up with the wrong crowd because he'll be following. So what was happening was one of the boys had picked up a walking stick and was chasing a little girl around named Malaya. Nate wasn't doing it, but he was following the group of kids that were going around the circles with this walking stick. And so I just wanted to make sure that this teacher that watches him at recess isn't like pinpointing my son and picking on him. And when he said that to my son, that's like an intimidation. So you're literally a 39, 40-year-old man and you're trying to intimidate my son at recess who's 7 years old. That's not going to happen. Not with me. So that was the problem. Now I have to find a solution. My knee-jerk reaction was to react and respond and go off. But I honed myself in and I called my husband and I told my husband what happened. I said, do you think I'm overreacting? He said, no, I don't think you're overreacting. He shouldn't be like intimidating Nathaniel, but let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait for the next couple days, see if Nathaniel comes home and tells us any more stories about it. And if he does, then next week when you go to parent-teacher conference, you can talk to his teacher about it face-to-face. That was a great idea. Now, my first response was, I'm going the fuck off. I'm going to go fight. I was going to go up there ready to box this dude, right? Ready to box this dude. That's not the answer to my problems, you know? I needed to breathe, think, talk to my husband, and do things the right way, because I don't want to put a target on my son's back. Oh, that's Nathaniel, the little boy with the psychopath mom. You know what I mean? So that's just an example of how today I found myself in a circumstance that was, you know, something that I have never had happen before, and I had to use my recovery skills to kind of help me to navigate that. And so that's what today's meditation is telling us. Today's meditation is telling us to pause when agitated, okay? To think before we speak, all right? Let me read a little bit at the end. It says, sometimes I have to let go of a problem before I can find a solution. My racing thoughts may be making me so much noise that I can't hear the guidance of my inner voice is offering. Quieting the noise is a skill I can learn with practice. At first, I may have to still my thoughts again and again. I learned that practice makes progress 1 minute, one thought at a time. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay? In our group this week, we discussed how to give yourself time before responding to situations. Yes, that's it. Same thing. Yes, totally same thing. Take a second, pause when agitated or doubtful. So, you guys, I'm having to use the pause when agitated or doubtful now in my regular recovery here on TikTok, because I keep finding myself in these situations where I'm wanting to react. I wanted to pop off, you know what I mean? And that's not healthy for me. That's not going to help me, you know? So, even take a few breaths, take a walk, take time to think about it before reacting. Absolutely. So let's pick out one of these struggles that one of you guys had named, and we're going to talk about how we can help this person. So I'm just going to pick a random struggle, okay? So I'm going to go with depression, okay? So this person, we're going to go with mental health all together. Mental health, PTSD, anxiety, all that is mental health, okay? So bipolar, all that is part of mental health. So if you're somebody who named something that falls underneath the mental health umbrella, listen up. Okay, so first and foremost, you guys, when we were in our active addiction, what do we do? We did not take care of our mental health. A lot of us were medicating ourselves because we were mentally ill and we didn't have a way to treat our mental illness, and that's why we were using drugs and alcohol to kind of fill the gap, right? Now, when I got sober, one of the first things I did was have a psychological evaluation. All right, this is so important, you guys. This is going to help you so freaking much. Hey, J.E., what's up, baby? This is going to help you so much. Having a psychological evaluation when you first get sober, then after you've been sober for 1 year, after you've been sober for 2 years, after you've been sober for 3 years. That's how I did it. Okay, so that way, because see, when you first get sober, you guys, and all the substances are leaving your body, you might present as bipolar or manic, right? Give yourself a year to stay sober, and you might not present that way anymore. And so that's why it's so important to get your mental health taken care of. If you're struggling with depression, if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with PTSD, I want you right now to write down on a notebook, call and make an appointment with my doctor. If you don't have like a doctor that can help you with your mental health, I want you to go and make an appointment with your primary care physician and ask them to call you in a referral. to get help with your mental health, okay? Because in order for you to stay sober and healthy, you have to fix what's going on up here first, okay? This right here will take you out every single time, all right? I know. Whenever I first got sober, so one of the things they thought I was bipolar. I'm not. But I presented as bipolar. When I was in treatment, they diagnosed me with bipolar. When I came out of rehab, at 6 months, they diagnosed me with bipolar. After 2 years sober, I went back in. Psychiatrist, the same, everything. Guess what? I wasn't bipolar. It was because of all the mania and the drugs I was doing. The up and down, methamphetamine, cocaine, opiates. That's why. And so I want you guys to get the best help that you can get. If you're like, Nicole, I don't have insurance, I can't go and get help for my mental health. There is a sliding scale. You can go to a doctor that's like with your county that is on a sliding scale. Don't let this be something, you guys, that you cannot getting taken care of. I was sure I was going through psychosis. It matters. Absolutely. And I have seen people, you guys, who when they got sober from meth, they were still having hallucinations and they were still hearing like voices in their head, and their doctor was trying to like diagnose them with schizophrenia. They didn't have schizophrenia, man. Their brain was just that was something that was a symptom of their a symptom or a side effect of their addiction. Hey Kayla, what's up, girl? That had to like run its course, and eventually it stopped, and then they reevaluated them and they weren't psychotic or schizophrenic. Okay, so Dr. B, there's like 3 patients that we've seen in the last 6 months to a year that were coming off of methamphetamine. That when they were coming off methamphetamine, they were absolutely out of their mind. Like I've been hallucinating before. I know this was like it was very, very hard to watch because it was so sad, and they are night and day from that point, and then now 6 months away from then. Totally different person. So if you're someone who's just getting sober, or you've been sober for a while and you just decided to ignore your mental health, make it a priority, man. Make this a priority. You are the most important person in the room. If you want to maintain sobriety, if you want to maintain a health and wellness, you have to get your mental health checked. Listen to me. Y'all hear me complain about my energy? Let's go ahead and talk about that too. I am going and I'm getting help. For those of you guys that don't know that, I complain about having no energy at all. This is also part of this up here. I have hepatitis C. That's part of my problem. I'm overweight. That's part of my problem. I'm a 40-year-old woman who I think is experiencing early onset menopause. So I am going through all these changes in my life and in my body now that I'm sober. And I don't know how to treat this 39, 40-year-old body now. The only way I know how to treat my body is like when I was 17. And so I'm learning all this stuff all over again. I'm not just sitting up here trying to teach you guys, like I'm learning this too. That's why I'm telling you guys. It's not like because I think I know it all. It's not because I think I'm a fucking teacher or something. It's because I'm learning this, so I'm bringing it to you and sharing with you guys what I'm learning too. Okay, so mental health, make it a priority. Please, you guys, if you need help finding mental health services, guess what? You can DM me. I will help you with that. You know, contrary to popular belief, you can message me and I will help you for free. I do it all day, every day. You don't have to pay me to get resources. I will help you find them. Okay? Excuse me. I go through my DMs every single night and every single morning. Same on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Okay? I go through all of my messages and I message back every single person. All you have to do is message me and I will do the best I can to help you find resources, okay? Hey Jill, what's up, girl? I'm now trying to eat healthier and take vitamins. Absolutely. So I think my lack of energy kind of coexists and goes hand in hand with my mental health, okay? So since I have gotten sober, I got on Lexapro and then I got on Wellbutrin. When I tell you guys, Lexapro was working for me really good when I first gave birth to my son because I had it for postpartum depression. But after that, it stopped working. So that's when I went and got put on Wellbutrin. I truly believe that I'm going to have to go up on my Wellbutrin because I just don't think it's working anymore. But I'm going to get my medicine for my Hep C. I'm going to get that taken care of, and I'm going to give that a good 6 months, you guys, to see how I feel after I get my hepatitis C treatment, okay? Don't put it off another day. If you're struggling with your mental health, let's get it taken care of. I will help you find resources, all right? You're not alone. There's nothing to be embarrassed of, okay? We all have the times where we struggle. We all have our ups and downs. Okay. Okay, so, let's talk about acceptance because this is something I've been struggling with too. Okay, so acceptance as in being accepted, being a part of, fitting in. Okay, for some reason, all of my life, I've always been someone who was alienated. What happens is I'm an empath, okay? For those of you guys that don't know, I am extremely, extremely connected to my feelings and the feelings of other people. That's why I enjoy helping people so much. And what happens to me is people see that and they see how vulnerable I can be and how I show my vulnerabilities, and they take that as a weakness. They're mistaken though. My empathy and my kindness and my open-heartedness to people is my greatest asset. But see, people who are unhealthy and who are trying to hurt and harm others, they look at it as a weakness, as something that they can play off of and try to harm me with, okay? My mental health is in the toilet, but I'm trying to get health insurance first. Good job, girl. I'm proud of you. My mental health wants to constantly whisper to you, so I get out of bed. Thank you. Oh yeah, get out of bed, girl. Get out of bed. There's a gene test you can take that will tell you what kind of antidepressant you need. Oh, really? Then you could. That sounds like a great idea. I'll have to ask my doctor about that. But anyway, being vulnerable and being able to show my feelings online, being able to, if I have a bad day, come on here and cry and talk to you guys about it, that is one of the things that helps me. Like, I will never be ashamed of showing my emotions. It's not a weakness. It's one of my strengths. It's one of the things that helps me to be able to help other people so much. How many of you guys feel like you don't fit in? How many of you guys have come here to Recovery TikTok and you feel like you don't have a place? You feel like you don't fit in. You feel like the people around you don't like you or accept you. Okay? You feel like when you come around, everybody is whispering and then they see you and they stop talking. Okay? I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I think that way sometimes too. I think a lot of it, you guys, is the insecurity. So let's confidence. I think a lot of that is our lack of self-confidence and our insecurity, making us feel like we aren't good enough and that we don't fit in. Because you guys fit in here. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like everybody that's here, I think we all mesh really well together and we all have a cohesive family right here. You know what I mean? But when I go other places, I feel really on edge. I feel like I'm, not fitting in. I feel like people don't want me to be there. I feel like people are talking bad about me all the time. Like, that sucks. Do you know what? That sucks to feel like that. It is a horrible feeling to feel like people are talking about you all the time. And then it's a horrible feeling to actually have hey Micah, to actually have confirmation that they are. And that is something that I have been going through the last week or 2 or 3 is confirmation that people are bad mouthing me behind my back. And you know how hurtful it is when you're trying to help other people to have people doing that to you? Do you know how that feels? Do you know what it feels like to help somebody and share your platform with them and then come online and see that they are talking badly about you a week later? Do you know what that feels like to like bare your soul and try to help somebody and then they basically spit in your face? It sucks. It sucks when you put all your hard-earned help into things. You know what I mean? It sucks. But I'll tell you guys this. When you're doing something that other people can't do, it makes them feel uncomfortable. So every single one of you who are getting sober, who are changing your life, who are being kind to other people, who are lifting each other up, you're going to have people who come against you because they can't do what you're doing. Okay? It takes a special kind of person to be able to love people where they're at with non-judgment and being open-minded. You're going to have people who are going to say, you know, you're an enabler, you should show tough love. No. As people in recovery here online, we don't know each other personally in real life. We are here to support each other, point blank period. I feel so weird and awkward, like I'm so different and not normal. Kristen, I feel that same way too, girl. Or Candace, especially when I first got sober, I felt awkward all the time, and I would stutter, and I would stutter all the time. But you're not awkward at all. None of you guys are awkward. You know, if anybody wants to come up here and share, just send me a guest request and I'll bring you up on the stage. Okay. So we have to build our self-confidence, you guys. Like, we got sober for a reason, all right? We were picked. Whether you believe it or not, we were picked, okay? Hand-picked to do what we do, all right? We are special. We are a batch of people that normally people don't make it, okay? People are dying because of the disease of addiction. Now, let me read this meditation for you guys, okay? It's about acceptance and self-confidence and self-esteem. How often I look outside myself for approval. How many of you guys look outside of yourself? That means you look to other human beings for approval and validation. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. The project at work is successful, but my good feelings depend on having that success acknowledged. So I know I'm doing a good job, but I don't feel like I'm doing a good job until somebody acknowledges the fact that I'm doing a good job. The meal I fix at home is not as tasty when no one compliments the cook. I resent the favors I do for my children when they neglect to thank me. We all need an occasional pat on the back, but when the applause of others becomes the reason for my behavior and necessary for me to feel satisfied, then I have given them power over me. You hear that? So before we accept validation from anyone else, before we look to anyone else for a pat on the back, we need to be able to have validation from ourselves. We need to know deep down inside of our hearts that we are the shit, that we are kicking ass and taking names, that we are validating our own feelings. We don't have to search for others to validate us. Okay? But when the applause of others becomes the reason for my behavior and necessary for me to feel satisfied, then I have given them power over me. People may forget to notice the terrific things that I've done or may not be comfortable praising me. I don't have to take it personally. Self-pity and resentment are not my only options. If I can learn to evaluate my own actions and behavior to value my own judgment, then the approval of others will be enjoyable, but no longer essential to my serenity. Just for today, I will appreciate myself. I will not look to others for approval. I will provide it for myself. I'll allow myself to recognize that I am doing the best I can. Today, my best is good enough. So, let's work on validating ourselves. Let's work on getting confidence and self-assurance from within, okay? When you're doing the right thing, first of all, when you're staying sober, you guys, you don't need anyone to validate you because you're doing the right thing. Okay, when you're doing the right thing, you're staying sober, then that's all that needs to be said or done. You don't need approval from anyone else. None of you needs approval to be a good person. None of you needs an approval to fit in. None of you needs an approval to be friends. Like, you guys are strong, beautiful men and women who you can get that validation from within yourself. Okay? Don't depend on other people to validate you for you to be okay with you. All right? If I held my breath and waited for people to validate me, oh, Lord, help me, God, I'd be hurting. Okay? I'd be hurting. Especially when I first got started here on YouTube and TikTok. Nobody even knew who I was. I was like, nobody knew me. I was talking to 0 people on the live stream. And now, you know, I have people that actually join the live streams. So, validation comes from within. We have to find our true self. We have to love ourselves and validate ourselves from within. Okay? Okay. I'm going to share this video, you guys. Okay? Hold on just a second. What's his name? Yeah. Okay.
Can I play piano?
If they ain't hating, you ain't popping, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so come on in, everybody. Come on in. I'm gonna go get some water, and we're gonna keep on keeping on. So just so everybody knows, come in, drop your sobriety date, and put something in the chat that you've been struggling with, because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about different things that we struggle with.
Oh God, there's a spider.
Was there?
No, there's just this cobweb.
Okay. Okay.
I got.
I'm doing my class. Okay. I'll be done in a second, or I'll be done in a little bit. You're struggling with food? Colin, you're so skinny. How are you struggling with food, boy? Tell me about it. Because I've seen you comment that before. So tell me what's up, honey. Tell me what's up. It's just a cigarette, and it could not be that bad. Okay, guys, hold on. I'm going to take my 0.5 milligram of a strip, because I do it every night. Okay. That's why I'm sweating so much. All right. Come on, everybody. We're talking about struggles. Oh, Tara. Tara says she's struggling with the loss of her brother. Can you tell us what happened, Tara? What happened, honey? Oh my, that's not good. Come on in, okay? Come on in, everybody. We're talking about struggles today. I'm about to go back downstairs. I just came up here to get my medicine. All right. Parenting every day. These kids always do the most. Honey, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Why do these kids always do the most? Okay, so your brother passed away August. That wasn't too long ago. All right, let's go back downstairs and chat. All right. Tara, I'm so sorry, girl. If you want to come up here, you can share about your brother. I'll send you an invite. Did I send it? Oh, yeah, I sent it. Okay. Hey, Nash. What's up, girl? Yeah. It is? Okay.
I'm going to give you half of mine and I'm going to eat half of yours.
What is it?
Because I got a Philly cheese.
Oh, just save it. I'm not hungry right now.
And,
Okay?
Okay.
Hey, girl. What's up?
Hey,
Tell us about...
when you're mentioning your struggles, I still just struggle all the time with just, I'm appreciative of you and some other people that get on here and tell their stories and tell why. And you know why? It's because some people actually do lose a family member, and I just wanted to tell you thank you for what you do and for what others do by using this platform to try to do, help others who are struggling. And, my brother passed because he had a good amount of clean time, during COVID, and he relapsed and he was just gone. So
I'm so sorry. Did he die? Was it a fentanyl overdose? Well, Tara, I'm not saying it's great that your brother died, because it's tragic. It's tragic. But you know what the gift of all this is? The gift is that you can use his story so he did not die in vain. And you can help hundreds and thousands of other people by sharing his story. And his name will live on through helping other people get sober and change their lives. I just found a guy here on TikTok. I don't know if it's a company or what, but they're looking for people to share their stories whose family members have died from fentanyl overdoses. I think you would be great for you to go on and share your brother's story, and it will be forever. It will be like in writing, so people can go and hear his story. It'll be on a video. I just found their TikTok because they texted me the other day. It's like Charlie's story or something like that. And that's what you do. I know you're sad right now. I know it's hard, but you take this tragedy and you use it as a gift and you help other people. So that way your brother, what was your brother's name?
Tori O'Leary.
Do what?
Tori. I'll type it. Tori O'Leary, yeah.
Tori. So Tori's life, his life will live on. And his life will help other people to not lose their lives. One time my sponsor told me, she said, some people die so that we can live. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. And so his story could save lives. His death wasn't for nothing. It's because he's going to save lives, whether it was when he was alive or in the afterlife. And that's what's going to happen now, is that you're going to be able to share his testimony to help people all over the world. You're helping people right now by sharing what happened right now.
Well, even just the other day, like, my daughter asked me, she just, she's 9, and I kind of felt like she was a little young to kind of, understand, but she asked, and I thought about it, and I talked to her about, I said, there's this thing in the world that I hope that you never have to encounter, but drug addiction took a hold of it and just wouldn't let go, started on, his doctor started him on Oxy 80 milligrams, not like 10s or 20s, but like for a sore back, like started him on the 80 milligrams.
Yep.
So, after a couple years.
When did he start on Oxy? Because that's whenever these doctors were going around and they thought that Oxy was like this miracle drug, and they were prescribing it to everybody. Everybody. And so there's so many people who were basically they're innocent bystanders of that happening, you know? Nobody should, I mean, a cancer.
It was about
patient
10
should get
years ago.
Oxycontin
It
80.
was about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And where y'all from?
So I live in Indiana, but he lived in Connecticut. So he was going to like Waterbury and Hartford. And he was in, he was in jail for theft and stealing during COVID. And once he got out, we kind of all thought like he sounded good, like he was working, and it was just one of those things that we all thought he was just still, clean. Anyway, just a shock on a Sunday morning to get a call that he just didn't wake up, the next morning. So
yeah, I mean, that's
I have him here. We had it cremated, so I have ashes here. And my brother was my best friend. He was my only sibling, and he has two boys.
Oh man.
That are 10 and 8, and my kids. My son's here.
Hey, little dude.
He actually has autism, and so he's just watching Mickey for like the 50 millionth time for today.
That's awesome. You know what? My nephew has Asperger's, and also the company I work for, we're working with a place called POAC, POAC, Autism and like resources or something like that. They have an account here on TikTok. You would love it because his son's name is Chris, and he's like older, like in his 20s, and he brings his son on, and his son is so smart. He shares about.
I know. I've been watching a lot of stuff.
Okay.
On like adults with autism.
I love it.
Yeah, I kind of feel it. Like he's nonverbal. He's not really talking, but I just kind of feel like it's coming. I haven't lost hope that, but he can talk on his speech device and stuff like that too. So, anyway, next, let's see, what is Wednesday? I'm a teacher, so I'm on fall break. And so Friday, we are driving from Indiana to Connecticut to pick up my nephews. And then we're going to go to Maine for a week or so and just enjoy some family time. And the same way my daughter asked me, what happened? Did he die from a heart attack or I wanted her to know, because the boys know, her cousins know that he's overdosed before they found him.
Yeah.
With his lips blue, they know, like, why did they give him why did they give him the shot again?
I'm so
They shouldn't have to know that. They shouldn't have to know that at 9 and 7 years old. But I just kind of take it like, he told me so many times what he wanted for his children, almost like he didn't know if he was going to make it out of that addiction. So
yeah, addiction sucks, especially like when you have children and you feel lost and you feel trapped, when I was young, when Nathaniel was younger and he got taken away from me, I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be able to get sober and stay sober. And I'm so grateful that I got on Suboxone. That saved my life because
He did that for a good long time
yeah,
and was successful. And I don't really know what happened. Just, I don't know. Just off and on of Suboxone. And it seemed like for a while he was selling his Suboxone, something. I don't even know. There
yeah,
was just a
sometimes people do
lot
that too.
that I don't know because he just really never really, we didn't know what was going on half the time because we didn't know
When
really what.
coronavirus hit, like so many people started struggling because on my YouTube channel, I remember in March when we found out corona was here, they shut down all the AA and NA meetings, and everybody was, so many of my friends were relapsing. So I was like, what are we going to do? And that's when we started doing meetings on my YouTube channel every night. 7 days a week I would do them because, and there, it would be a packed house because there was nobody, no support for addicts and alcoholics who were struggling out there when they shut down the meetings and stuff. And so we had to make our own support network, and it's hard. Like, and then also being depressed, being on lockdown, like, oh my God, struggling with addiction and then being on lockdown, not being able to leave your house. Awful, 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 awful. We lost a lot of people in 2020 because of that.
He actually was in he was in jail in January, so before lockdown, like he was supposed to have court, I want to say in February, March, but the court dates just kept getting postponed and postponed, and COVID was just going like rampant in the jail. And anyway, he could still call us. He called us every single night. We made sure he had money to call us. We made sure we didn't want to send him money because we knew in jail that there was probably stuff. So I don't know. We just thought that when he got out, there was 3 months in between when he got out of jail in June to when he passed in August. So I thought he decided like really did it then. Like that was his. I think it was what he told me before, that he would never. He said the only people that would die from overdose, and I really don't know because I don't have a whole lot of experience, just in, just having a family member, and he told me that the only people that die are the ones that are off of it for a long time, and then they think they can take the same whatever. And I think that's what he did. I think that's what happened.
Yep. Yeah. His tolerance had went down. And that's what happens to a lot of people. That's why I always tell everybody, like, when you are thinking in your mind, like, you're thinking about relapse, you're thinking that you want to go out and use, you guys. That's why I tell you guys to start snitching on your addiction. Tell anybody that will listen. Call your mother, your dad, your best friend, your sister. Go to the AA meeting. Come over here and hang out. And just tell on yourself. Tell everybody that you can talk to. I want to get high. I'm struggling. I've been thinking about using. I mean, any chance you get to take that and get it out of you and put it out there so someone else can help you carry the burden. And that's the problem with a lot of addicts and alcoholics, is we think we don't want to bother anybody. We don't want to be a burden. We don't want to bug you. We don't want to overwhelm you. No, you're not overwhelming anybody. Talk about what you're going through. Reach out to people when you're struggling. Bug the fuck out of them, because that will save your life.
Like the day before that we got the call, he called me, and I didn't call him to check on him. He called me because he knew that I was having a rough couple nights with my son. You know, sometimes kids with autism just don't really sleep that well. And so he knew it. I had a rough couple nights, and he called. And he called to check on me, and I never even once, you know, asked him how he was doing. But he sounded so good, you know. I always felt like I could tell like if he was messed up or not, because I just felt like he was like monotone, and like half the time he'd like just pass out when I was talking to him, but I felt like I had him back. And
It's
the
not your
worst part
fault.
about it was getting his phone afterwards. I should not have went through his phone.
Wow, what happened when you went through his phone? Tell us about it. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, of course.
I just had no idea the extent of how many things he would sell, steal, sell, you know, take pictures. I don't know. I guess that's just what was the most surprising thing.
Oh, we'll
And just
we'll pawn anything. We'll sell anything. We'll pawn anything. Girl, one time I found an old pair of fucking golf clubs in my father-in-law's garage. And me and my husband took these golf clubs down to the pawn shop trying to get $50 for a damn fucking set of clubs. Like, what the fuck?
he would do that shit. And I even remember like when we were in high school, like we were pretty good kids. Like he drank, we would have parties and stuff like that, but we were pretty good kids. But he was coming up like he was paying me, and all his friends were paying me to make like fake report cards and to like do all their English papers because I ended up being a teacher. So I knew like I could like 5-page paper. Yeah, no problem. So I was making like bank in high school off of him and all his friends, all of their schoolwork. But you know, we just were the best of friends. And to lose him, it just still is. I mean, things come up like the other day on Facebook. I'm like, when the fuck was there a Sun's Day? When, when was that a holiday? It's just another day for me to realize that my mom doesn't have her son anymore. I don't know, still, but things like that. And I'm an only child now. I don't have that.
It's so fresh too. Like her. You guys, just for those of y'all are just coming in here, Tara's brother passed away in August, um, from August 2020, right? Or 21.
2020, so it's been a little over a year.
Still super fresh though. And he passed away from an overdose with fentanyl, and she's coming on and sharing about it with us because because she wanted to and I wanted her to. And it's hard, man. Like I can't even imagine. I've lost so many friends, but it's not like my sister. Like if I lost my sister, oh my gosh, I would be. My sister's like my ace boon coon, my like right hand man, my wing man. You know what I mean? We'd go to the club and pick
That's
up
what,
dudes.
that's the way we were. I have to show you a picture.
You
I have
know?
to show you a picture now. Oh my gosh, we were the. He always said we were like peas and carrots, and it's true.
Oh, he's good looking too.
Oh, just just happy and just a good hearted person.
When did his addiction start? Was it because he was he had a backache. He had a hurt back and the doctor gave him pills, huh? How did Did
Yeah.
it just
So
start right away when he first started taking them, or did it slowly
he didn't
progress?
he didn't take all of them at once. It was more of a they were giving them to him and he had all these leftovers and he was like, did you know I can sell these for so much? And so he was selling them at first until he started getting to where he had a addiction himself, so he'd sell through them all and then have none and have to go buy some. And it was just like cycling every month. And he would be calling me and my mom all the time, wanting money for this and for that. And I don't know. It was a long 10 years of just, we never did know if we were going to get that call. And we did, it's just like, we both just, my mom and I, we just, sink to the floor when you get a phone call like that. And it's just so permanent, like he had OD'd before and then brought back. I never knew 4 or 5 times. He told me that when he was in jail during COVID. He told me everything. He told me everything that had happened to him in the last 10 years that he would never tell me before. And so that's why I knew I had my brother back, because he was really just spilling his guts up to me and telling me about how his so-called friends were leaving him ODing out on the frickin' sidewalk at McDonald's because they didn't want to get arrested.
Yeah. That happens a lot, especially back in the back in the day, because back in the day, people used to think that they would go to jail, and some people I think would go to jail, but now they pass laws that if you're with somebody who ODs, like, you're not going to go to jail. Just call 911. I've been in
He could
circumstances
have
like that
died that day,
where people left
you
me on
know.
the side of the road, left me out in front of the emergency room, drove me up there and dumped me on the sidewalk, put me out on the front porch because they didn't want to deal with me. And one of my friends came out there and I was blue, and she threw me in her car and took me to the hospital right away. Like, I would have overdosed on the front porch. Nobody
When
cared.
your lips are blue, it's like it's time. But
Yeah.
I wear, I mean, I hate heroin. Heroin sucks. And then also the green bracelet I have, like, in memory of my brother. Um, and so, I mean, it's a conversation starter sometimes, and I don't mind to tell people. Actually, if someone asks me, I tell them. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to know, I feel like I will tell anybody who wants to know, if it can somehow, like, I feel like my students, I teach 4th grade. They may be a little bit too young, but sometimes I just want to talk to them about it. I just want to say, guys, you're at that age, we had DARE when we were in 5th grade, and we know, it didn't work for everybody. It might have worked for some, but I mean,
The best thing
there's
to do
days
is
when
start educating them early. I know you might feel like, since they're not your children, I understand, but like with my son, he's 7 years old and I'm already educating him about addiction and about drugs and about safety and about, being at a friend's house and somebody's pulling out pills and saying, let's try these. Like, I'm sharing my son, I told him, I went to jail, and I told him exactly what happened because of my addiction. I told him the consequences of my actions because of my addiction. And my son is so smart. Like, he'll even ask me when he sees somebody out and about, like, acting kind of weird. He'll say, is that person drunk, Mom? Are they not sober because they're acting, not like a regular person would? My son can see that and sense it. And so I'm preparing him for that, because he has the disease of addiction genetically in him, and so I have to prepare him for.
that's what I wonder. I wonder about that too, like with his kids, with my children, with, like, I feel like we both grew up. My brother and I both grew up in an alcoholic family. So, my dad, we just didn't. He just wasn't around that much, and so he first got on meth and all kinds of stuff way back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and he took off from Illinois to Connecticut to get out of the scene because he was about to get busted.
Mm-hmm.
And he took off and stayed clean for quite a few years. And that, I'm telling you, that Oxycontin grabbed a hold of him he could have gotten off probably much. I don't know. He got off meth. He got off, I want to say other stuff that he's been on, but it, that stuff just grabbed a hold of him, would not let go of him, even when he thought he had his addiction under control.
Yeah.
It came right back. And, just one evening or whether he'd done it once before, one weekend before, or whatever,
If you could share something before I let you go, if you could tell somebody in the audience that's struggling with addiction one thing, what would you tell them?
you don't have anyone to be honest with, to find someone. And even, if you're counseling or mentoring someone, you answer that phone. Because what I found in my brother's phone was that he called a lot of people that night.
Yeah.
His sponsor was one of them. His sponsor was one of them. He called me earlier in the afternoon. Was he reaching out for help? He might have been. But he was asking about me. He wanted to know how I'm doing, I would say, even if you don't feel like you can come clean to anybody else, there's got to be that one person. I just wish my brother would have told me that one day. I wish I'm, thinking about going and getting some or doing something. Maybe I would have gone on a flight that day, and I would have went there to be with him. And it is so hard to realize that after the fact that he's gone, there's no more going to see him to see if I can help anymore. That's done and over with,
You're
So
so
don't.
strong for being able to come and share about this because I can't even imagine how it feels, but you're strong and you have to keep on sharing his story. I know it's hard right now, but this is a gift and you're going to be able to help so many people. Your brother's story is going to live on,
I feel that way. I feel like I want some good to, I can't think of any good that would come out of my brother dying. Then, unless I could somehow, maybe that's why I got interested in TikTok in the first place, was because of the recovery community. And honestly, you guys probably know who I am talking about, but I'd never really seen my brother so messed up before. And I was watching someone on live do that, and it got to me really bad. And so I had to separate myself from that.
I know it's sad.
I just kept wondering, is that what he looked like when he did that? I don't know.
That's what opiates do to us. A lot of people, we get all knotted out and my eyes would go all weird and stuff like that. It's not
See, I would.
a pretty thing to see. It's like we look
I
incapacitated.
never saw him because
You
of
know?
the distance. I was in Indiana and he was in Connecticut, so I was just going by what he sounded like, and I just knew that he sounded like he was off. Like it, and sometimes he would just like nod out and just be like, Tori, like, oh, what? I'm here. He'd get mad at me if I would say, what you doing? you know,
Well,
I've been
thank
trying to
God
say your name for.
you don't have to remember him like that. Like that's great that you don't have to remember him in a bad way. Like you remember him in a healthy, good way, you know?
Yeah, and I think that seeing his boys as much as I possibly can is kind of like almost like my therapy because I get to talk to them. Their mom talks about him, but not in the way that I do.
Yeah.
He was my big brother. He was my big hero. To her, that was their dad she don't have a lot to say about him. And I understand that, but they need to hear about the Tori that I grew up with and that I know who he was in his heart.
Yeah.
When he was in jail, he was asking me every single week, can you send me something from Amazon? I'm like, I ain't sending you money, but I'll send you something from Amazon. The books, this whole series, I sent him in when he was in jail. And
Yeah.
he was like, so I started reading this one night because I went through his house afterwards and I just started grabbing stuff, clinging on to whatever I could get a hold of. And I grabbed a hold of that set of books and I tried to read it, and just knowing that had been in his hands and that he had read that was just too overwhelming for me. So it's put right back in that shelf to when I can at some point come back to it.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Tara, I'm going to, thank you so much for coming out on here. I'm not trying
Thank
to
you guys. I have to get my kiddos to sleep anyway. So anyway,
message me though. Will you DM me because I want to hook you up with this other lady I'm friends with because she had a family member pass away and y'all could do like a podcast together. So will you DM me?
I will. I will.
Thanks, girl.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye. Okay, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut her off short, you guys. I just seen, I've been using fentanyl and perks. I have surgery tomorrow. Will I wake up for anesthesia or will it not work? I'm scared. Okay, so you need to tell the anesthesiologist that. You need to tell them that you've been using fentanyl and Percocet. They have to know that. You cannot go under anesthesia without them knowing that, because if they don't know that, they could do something and it could kill you. So you have to tell them exactly what all you've been using, when the last time you used was. In fact, I was on YouTube last night and I found a video all about anesthesia and the things that you need to tell your doctor when you are going under anesthesia. So did you get the comment I sent under your video about my username? Probably no. I have to see after I get off here. ASAP. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Be honest. My mom is a nurse. Yes. Always be honest to your doctors. Absolutely. So you have got to tell them that, you guys. But anyways, I wanted to show y'all this anesthesia. I follow this lady on YouTube, and she is so cool, and she's an anesthesiologist, and she was talking about Suboxone and anesthesia, and she was talking about how it's really important to let your doctor know if you're on Suboxone, because if you are, then they are going to do things differently. It doesn't matter how long the surgery is. You tell them, okay? This is like our life or death, okay? You cannot not tell them. You could die. So I'm telling you, man, do not keep that a secret. And if you're only 16 and you're using fentanyl and Percocet, you need to get help. You're playing with fire. This is a death sentence, okay? It's a death sentence. 16 years old, you need to get off of the internet, you need to go talk to your mom and dad. If you can't tell your parents, you need to go to a counselor or a trusted person that's an authority figure that you trust, and you need to go to them and let them know that you're struggling with addiction. Because, honey, if you're 16 and you're already on fentanyl, you're not going to make it till your 20th birthday. You are playing with fire. This is not a game. Okay? I know you think you're having fun right now. I know you think it feels good. I know you think it's not a big deal and that you have it under control. That's what I thought too. I thought the same thing. I said, Dad, I'm okay. I can be out at 10 o'clock at night. I know what I'm doing. Dad, hush. I'm drinking underage, but I'm okay. I got this under control. Mom and Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just some hydrocodones. It's just Vicodin. And guess what? Guess what? 15 years down the drain on drug addiction. Losing custody of my son to Child Protective Services because of drug addiction. Giving birth to my son under the influence of methamphetamine because of drug addiction. Losing everything I owned, my car, my jobs, my self-respect, my dignity, okay? Because of drugs. Okay? My life went down the drain because of substances. Do not make the same mistakes I did. Can I just tell them that I've been heavily smoking? You need to tell them exactly what you're doing, that you're taking fentanyl and Percocet. If you do not tell them, I will do an IP address search on who you are, and I will literally find out who you are, and I will call your mom and dad. In fact, 16-year-old boy, I want you to call the 1-800 number in my bio, and I want to talk to your parents. Okay? Call me on that number, and I want to talk to your mom and dad. Y'all, this is so serious, and I don't think how many of y'all understand how many children reach out to me that are 14, 13, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, who are using fentanyl. Okay? Like, please listen to me. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not a Karen. I'm not a bully. I'm not trying to boss you around. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to tell you that you're risking your life. You're playing Russian roulette, man. You're playing Russian roulette. Okay? Call me on that number. I will talk to your mom and dad for you. You're not going to get in trouble, okay? I will help you. I will talk to them. I will advocate for you. Okay? I've done it for a lot of kids that call that number. Okay? You call that number and I will talk with your mom and dad with you, and we will get you help. Okay? There's nothing to be afraid of. Fentanyl addiction is not something to play around with. It's not like you're just smoking a joint or something, you guys. It's not the same thing. Like, this is really, really serious, man. You could die. Like, you're not going to be able to make it. You won't make it to 17. Okay? Reach out to me. I promise I will help you talk to your parents. I have a brain tumor and they don't give me any meds that help, so I get perks off the street. I'm just telling you right now, it doesn't matter to me what's wrong with you or what matters is that Percocet off the street could kill you and you could die and you're underage. So please let me help you. I will talk to your mom and dad, okay? You call me, leave me a message, and we will talk to your parents and I'll help you, your mom and dad help you find treatment, okay? There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be scared of. Nobody is going to judge you. You're not going to get in trouble, okay? Guess what, you guys? There's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have legitimate pain, a brain tumor, or some kind of ailment, and you're self-medicating with fentanyl off the streets, I understand, okay? I understand. We have all been there before. 99% of us in here started using drugs and alcohol. Oh, sorry, guys. Because we were self-medicating, okay? So, please, just let me help you. I'll talk to your mom and dad, and we'll get you set up, and everything will be okay, okay? Don't worry about getting in trouble. That don't even matter. So here's the thing, you guys, like a lot of people come in here that are underage and reach out. And so it puts me in between a rock and a hard place because I'm 39 years old. Okay, so if you're underage and you come into my chat, like I'm going to ask to talk to your mom and dad. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, and if your parents are under the influence and they're using drugs and alcohol, then I'm going to help you to reach out to somebody in your area that you can trust, that's a counselor, a guidance counselor, or your teacher, or somebody that you look up to, okay, that will help guide you. There are adolescent services out there. It's harder to find but for drug addiction, but we can find it and you can get help. Okay, so please, please, please do not be worried about your mom and dad getting mad at you. There's 46 people in here right now. I don't know how many people in here are minors, but if you're a minor and you're watching my live stream right now, listen to me. You're not going to get in trouble. No one is mad at you. Okay, we want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. We want you to live. We want you to make it to your 21st birthday. Okay, we want you to be able to get grown and go to college, get married and have kids. Okay, if you're on the fentanyl train at 16 years old, you're not going to make it, man. You're not going to get to do anything because you're going to die. When you lost your child to the system, how long did it take to get them back? 1 year. 1 year. 1 year of working my ass off. By 8 months in, I had my son back in my custody where he could stay the night. Sorry, I got to get something to drink. My mouth is dry. By my 8th month, I was able to have him in the home on weekends, and he was staying the night with us. I'll tell you this right now, going through CPS was the hardest. It was horrible. It was horrible. But it made me stronger. It made me the person I am today, and I'm sober because of it. So even though it was a horrible experience, it saved my life. Yeah, so people are so worried about like other people judging them or people looking down on them, right? Hello. I used to feel like that too, so I understand. I also used to think it was cool to get high when I was younger. Well, because everybody else was doing it. But when I was younger, you guys, I started out on weed and alcohol, you know, methamphetamine, cocaine. But nowadays, it's so different. It's a whole new beast out there now, you know, and it's a jungle out there. It's a war zone. And you can't be going out there and getting high on fentanyl and expect to live your life. You will die. You will die. You will die. You will die. Point blank period. I can't say nothing else about it. You will die. So, like I said, minors, listen up. You're not going to get in trouble. Addiction is a disease, okay? People, listen up. Addiction is a disease. It is not a moral failing. It's not because you're a bad kid. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because, you know, it's not because of any of those things, okay? It's a brain disorder, okay? So once you can realize that, don't blame yourself. We can get you help. Okay. And Tara, thank you so much for coming on here. I saw that kid's comment, and I had to say something because I was just like, oh, I can't let this pass by. You know what I mean? But Tara came on, you guys, and she was sharing about her brother who passed away, and she is one of many people who have lost loved ones to fentanyl, okay? And so sharing your story, your brother's story, is going to help save people's life. So thank you so much for coming up and sharing about what happened. For real, thank you so much. Okay. If anyone else wants to come up and share, you can send an invite and I will bring you up on here to talk, okay? Anybody can come up and share if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you're more than welcome to join the live stream. All you have to do is send me an invite and I'll bring you up on the stage, okay? All right, you guys. So, okay, so back to our struggles that we were talking about. Struggles with being comfortable in my own skin. How many of you guys struggle with being comfortable within your own skin? Anybody? If you struggle with feeling comfortable in your own skin, put a 1 in the chat. Hey Tiffany, what's up, girl? Hey Priscilla. Hey Diana. Hey Jason, what's up, baby? I can remember hey Candace, I can remember when I was a child, when I literally was like 7 years old, 6 years old, 5 years old. Hey Kim, hey Tiffany. I can remember feeling like I didn't fit in. I can remember knowing I was different in my mind. I can remember looking at my skin, seeing my other girlfriends. They were blonde hair, they were blue-eyed, beautiful porcelain skin. I was a bigger girl, chunky, thick, and they were skinny and petite. I was Mexican, you know. I came from a loud family. My dad was a big Italian guy. Was like, yo, what's up? And I was like in school with all these kids whose dads were good old boys, right? And so I was different from day one, and I hated it. When I first started school, I hated being different. Now, once I got older, 9th, 10th grade, I embraced that and I loved it because it gave me an advantage. But when I was younger, I looked at it as something negative and I hated being in my skin. I wanted to rip my skin off and go take somebody else's skin and put it on me and hide. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made me feel, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy of the company of the people I was around. I didn't feel like I was good enough. I felt like all the girls were so much prettier than me, so much popular than me. Their parents were richer than mine. My parents aren't rich at all, but you know what I mean. Their parents were rich. I grew up with girls whose parents lived in these huge ass mansions, you guys, on the lake. And my mom and dad, we were just regular middle class citizens. My dad worked for the post office, you know. And so I felt so out of place. I remember going to one of my best friends. Her name was Marlene. I will never forget it. My dad loved her too. We played softball together. But her dad was like a lawyer and her mom was like a nurse or something like that. They lived in this beautiful mansion in this really nice part of Hot Springs, Arkansas. And I can remember going over there with my hand-sewn clothes that my mom made me. Because when I was a little girl, my mom sewed all of our clothes. And I can remember having to wear dresses because I wasn't allowed to wear pants because we were Pentecostal. And I felt so out of place. I was like, damn, man, I wish I could just be like everyone else. I felt so ugly and so out of place. As I got older, and I'm sure you guys can relate, I started finding ways to change the way I felt, okay? So I was insecure about my weight, so I started to starve myself. How many of you guys have struggled with an eating disorder? If you struggled with an eating... Oh, we got a guest. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Missy. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Sorry about that.
Hey.
What's up?
Just stopping on, say hi.
Talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
So that story really hit me. That bless her heart, sharing about a brother, but the young boy reaching out. You know, he has so much life to live, and he's not going to live past 20. You know, in the life he's living, and it really breaks my heart. There's so much help out there, and I know his focus is, I'm going to get in trouble, you know, I'm going to get in trouble, and he's not, you know. There's so much help out there, and I don't want to see him be an old woman like me struggling through addiction.
Yeah, same.
I just, bless his heart, just so sad. So sad.
That's how I feel, girl. I feel like I'm trying to tell these people as a cautionary tale, like, you don't want to be 39 years old and just getting your life together. you know. But, I
Yeah.
remember when my parents were telling me the same thing, and I would hear them, and my dad would say, it's not cool, it's not. And I was like, whatever, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, we know what we're talking about. I know. Yeah, drugs feel good. I love getting high. I love the way it made me feel. But
I
I'm
loved
telling
it.
you right now, it might make you feel good, but it will take you down through there.
Yeah.
It will take you down through there.
That's right. That's right. I loved it. It stayed right beside my bed. And when my alarm went off, I have a drink right beside my bed. And when my alarm went off, I was taking a pill because I couldn't get out of bed without taking a hydrocodone and oxycodone, or a Percocet. I couldn't get out of bed. Mine got bad enough that my husband has Crohn's. He has a prescription for hydrocodone. He needs it. Like 28 a month, and gets it filled like maybe every few months. But I was replacing this hydrocodone with Tylenol because I was taking all his too. And that's how, deep an addiction you get. And it's all about you and what you want and how you're going to get your fix. And I just hope everybody can figure out it's hard. It's not easy. It's not an easy road to recovery, but it gets easier. I'm past my 8 months, and it's getting easier. And days are getting easier. Things are getting easier. Life's getting better. So much better things are happening. I went to the doctor the other day. I have a torn rotator cuff, and he offered me pain medication, and I said no, thank you.
Good
You
job.
know, oh my gosh, before I'd been like, hell yeah, I got some.
Yeah.
I got a script. I got a script and all, but there's so much more to life to live than living
How
on
did you get sober,
narcotics.
Missy? Shared with us what happened.
Um, so I actually was on one of your lives, and everybody was talking about that there was virtual ways to get live, and somebody, everybody was mentioning different places, and somebody mentioned I use Bright Heart Health, and so the next day I called them, and they checked me in, and I had my Suboxone by that night. They do monthly UAs. They mail them to my house. I do the UAs, and then I do group weekly with the doctor and the therapist, and then I do monthly therapy sessions with the therapist, and then of course I have email and email to my doctor and the therapist, and I can reach out to them 24/7. They're always there to help. Like I mentioned earlier, this week in group, he started playing a video, and it was Dr. B. And I said, "Oh, it's Dr. B." And it was one of Dr. B's videos explaining how Suboxone works and things. And I said, "Oh, I love Dr. B, and he has a really good intake." I said, "My friend is his intake. She takes all of his calls, and." He's like, Dr. B? I said, well, I don't personally know Dr. B, but I feel like I do.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I have to tell Dr. B that. He would be so happy to hear that.
Yeah. So, he's been used in a lot of Dr. B's videos in our group sessions, to help people, just the different side effects of Suboxone and, just living life with Suboxone and, how, it originated, and, it originated for pain control. That's how it started was for pain control. And, it actually, that's why I take it. I was addicted to narcotics because of pain, but I was tired of taking narcotics, and I was addicted to them. I wasn't taking them as prescribed. I was eating them like Pez candy. But the narcotics were helping my pain. I was taking, I'd get 120 in a month, and it'd be gone in 2 weeks, and then I'd be suffering. And the Suboxone, I've not overused. I've never felt like overusing, and I'm doing things I've never done. I can mow my yard. I can go for a walk. I can do things that I haven't done for 4 years. I broke my back in a bad accident, and
I'm proud of
I
you,
could
girl.
still go get the, I could still go get the medications today. I could go right now and get them, but I won't take them. No way. No
I'm really
way.
proud of you, Missy.
No.
Missy came and
Thank
started
you.
with us, and then she has been sober ever since. She's been coming to lives. She comes to every live every night. She's in our little Real Talk Recovery chat group on Messenger. She follows me everywhere, and she's always there whenever I come on. She's super fucking supportive. But what she did was she listened to what I said, and she got in the middle and started. She got herself right in the middle of the recovery with us. Wherever I would go, she would follow over there and be there, front and center, ready to learn, ready to
When
ask
I
questions.
when I check myself into Brightheart, they're like, "Are you doing this because you're in trouble?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Are you court ordered?" I said, "No." And they said, "So why are you here?" And I said, "Because I don't want to be on narcotics." And they said, "This is great." They said, "We just usually don't see this. Usually, people get to the point where they have to become our program, and voluntarily just reaching out and doing it." They said, they had a lot of, a good outlook for me because I did it myself, and I just, made that call. And my husband, I was a functioning addict. My husband didn't know how bad I was. I walked out of my office one day and I said, crying, and I said, "I need help." And he said, "What?" And I said, I'm an addict." And he said, "Well, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad." And, you know, the, you know, I covered it well, but I worked in the medical field for years. I knew what to say and to do and, to act.
Yeah.
I could cover it up so well, unfortunately, because I could play it off for that long. But I'm really thankful for you, Nicole. I can't tell you how thankful I am for you and all you do, because I wouldn't be here today without you.
Well, I appreciate you, and you did the work, so I'm just proud of you for getting busy and getting active. And that's really all you got to do, you guys, is just take
Yeah.
action, get in the middle, be
It's not
here
easy,
with
but
us.
it takes work.
We'll help
It's
each
not
other.
easy, but it takes work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Find
just
your family.
consistency.
And I found my family here. I- Nicole will attest, man, if she's not live, I'm messaging her. I'm like, "You going live? Where are you at? You got to get here.
Yeah.
I need you."
And you got a job you're working, and you're Missy's
I
setting
do.
healthy
I work
boundaries
full
with her
time.
family, and she's working through like
Yep.
situations with her family where there was family members that were overstepping boundaries and being toxic, and she's working through that, and will text me or reach out to me whenever she's going through like a family issue. And I charge you money, girl, to do any of that?
No, it's
I
all free.
She just shoots me a text. She's willing to text me and reach out to me, and I'm willing to be there to help her with suggestions. And she listens to what I say and actually takes the suggestions. Now, I don't tell her to go jump off a bridge or something. Like, I really try to help her with suggestions of things that I know would help her. You know what I mean? So
And
I'm so proud of you,
just
girl.
Nicole didn't get. I don't see Dr. B. I went through a therapy place. She didn't get me into Dr. B. She didn't get my head, and she didn't get money off of me. She got me help for free, and she continues to help me for free, and I'll forever be grateful.
Well, I love you, girl. I'm just proud of you, for real.
I love you.
I remember when you had 30 days, and then 60 days,
Yeah.
and then 90 days, you know? So I'm really proud of you, girl.
I'm over 8 months now.
I'm really, really proud of you. You know you can call me or text me anytime, okay? Don't be shy.
I know. I do know that.
Okay?
And you're right there. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I love you, woman.
I love you. Have a good night.
All right, bye. Hold on, guys. Okay. I blocked them. Don't worry, guys. So you guys, I wasn't trying to say that like to make y'all feel uncomfortable or anything, but like Missy's just somebody who reached out to me here on TikTok, and she started coming to our live streams. If you want to come up and share, you're more than welcome to. Just send me an invite and I'll throw you up on the screen. She came to a live stream. She needed help. She messaged me on the DMs. I sent her my cell phone number. I added her to our Facebook group, and she went and got her on Suboxone, and she's been doing her thing ever since. When she has an issue and she's struggling, she texts me, and I try to help her the best I can with suggestions, and she comes and spends time with us and does recovery with us. Anybody can come up and share. You can share your sobriety story. You can share with something that you're struggling with. Anything you want to share that's related to recovery and addiction. So thank you, Missy, for coming up and sharing your story, girl. I'm really, really proud of you. Like I said, she's been with us for 8 months, and she is like she's an example of getting in the middle of and doing the damn thing. That's all it takes, you guys. Is if you want to get sober, get in the middle of whatever recovery program you can get into. Hey, April, I saw your comment. So April said, let's read it because I saw it, and it was a good comment. She said that watching you today has been literally the only reason I haven't scored yet. I hate this feeling. So April has been struggling with wanting to get high, y'all, with thoughts of using, okay? And so what do we say? This is what we say. This is what I say, what we say when we're struggling with thinking about getting high. We start snitching on our addiction, okay? Anybody that will listen, if you're struggling and you want to get fucked up, tell anyone that you can talk to. Find somebody on the damn side of the road. Hey, I'm struggling. I want to get high. Like, just get it out of you. Get it out of you. Because what happens is that thought, guess what? Guess what? That's just a thought. That thought doesn't have any power over you. It can't control you. Okay? That thought is an inanimate thing. It's just a thing. It's just a floating in the air, right? You can take action, right, to do the opposite of whatever that thought is. You don't have to be a slave to your triggers, okay? So when you have a thought like that and it's in your mind, you get it out of you. You lessen the load. You're carrying the burden alone. So don't do that, because you don't have to. Come and hang out with us. Come lessen the load. Let someone know that you're struggling. Let somebody know that you're thinking about using. Okay? Start snitching on your addiction. All right? And hang out. You're going to be okay. I promise you. It will pass. Okay? This too shall pass. It's just a thought. It's not going to rule your life. I see a guest. But if you sit there and you keep it a secret, and you let that thought fester and build up momentum, and you start obsessing over it, and you start thinking about, ooh, I can call the dope man right now. Ooh, I remember his phone number, and you still haven't told anybody anything, and it's gaining momentum, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting bigger, and then you already called the dope man, and you're meeting him at the 7-Eleven, and then you're getting in your car, and then you see him right there, and you walk up to him, and you get the dope, and then you relapse. So you have to not let it get to that point. You have to take control and say, nope, you ain't taking me down. I'm not going to let you get momentum in my head. I'm going to get you out of me. Okay? That's that. I'm telling you guys, 100%. Okay. Hey, is this Bailee coming on, I think? What's up, Bailee? I see you coming on, girl.
Hey there.
Is it Bailee? Am I saying that right?
Yes, it's Bailee.
What's up, girl? Talk to us.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Talk to us. Tell us something good. Tell us what you got going on.
So I just kind of wanted to share my sobriety story. I've been following you since the beginning of this year, and you've inspired me so much. And so I saw that you were live, so I just thought, why not?
Okay.
So I'm 21. I started using whenever I was 14, and it was hard for me to get sober, but the final push was hitting rock bottom, and I actually overdosed on meth. Meth is my DOC. I overdosed December 4th, 2015, and I was pronounced dead for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thankful to still be here. I'm thankful I was able to have a second chance, and I went to rehab and literally haven't used since. I still get cravings. Like one of my childhood best friends, his name was Joey. He passed away June 5th of this year to a lace fentanyl overdose. He thought he was taking perk 30s, but it was fentanyl, and he passed away. And so I kind of just wanted to share that and just let everybody know that's watching on here, if you're struggling, if you really want to get help, like, you can do it. And I just wanted to share my story because if it helps one person, then that's my goal.
That's right. So tell me this. So you're a methamphetamine addict, right?
Yes, ma'am. This coming December 4th will be my 6-year sober mark, and I've had no slip ups except for
That's
one
good.
time. Except for one time when I was laced with it.
So when you overdosed, what happened? Because were you shooting it or was it mixed with something else? Tell us what happened.
So I never shot. I would either rail it or smoke it. And whenever I OD'd, I railed it. I did one line. I feel like it was mixed with something else because I was completely sober. I did one line, and then all of a sudden, like, I was just there, and then I just, I put my hand on my chest, and I couldn't breathe, and I fell back on my friend's bed and started foaming out of the mouth and had a seizure. They didn't drive me to the hospital because they were too concerned about getting in trouble, so they drove me home, and then I proceeded to call 911 on myself and literally told the 911 operator, I'm overdosing, I did meth, I need help, I can't live like this anymore. And the feeling, whenever it first happened, like, it literally felt like I was having a heart attack. And since I've gotten sober, I was never a long-term user, but I used consecutively when I did. So one of the effects after of me getting sober is I have heart issues. So 2 months after my 19th birthday, I had my first heart attack.
Wow. Whatever they're putting in that meth these days, you guys, you're the second person I know who has heart issues after methamphetamine use. And I shot meth for like 13 years. And you guys, it's different nowadays because my friend Ashley, she's come and shared her story too. She has heart issues too. If she did meth again, she would have a heart attack. Same thing. Same thing.
And then another issue or like struggle that I have since getting sober is like before I started using anything, I was a little bit overweight. I was never like to the point where I needed like to see a doctor, but just a little bit overweight. Now my metabolism is like fast. It's so hard to gain weight. I'm not even 95 pounds. I'm like 93 and I eat.
Well, as long as you're eating. That's all. That's all you can do. You know, you're young. Also, let me just tell you this, girl. When you turn like 30 something, it all goes downhill after that, honey. I used to have a metabolism too, and it would run, and I was just a cute little thing, and then I turned 30 years old, and it went. You know how you see that meme that goes, "I'm fast as fuck, boy. I'm fast as fuck, boy." That was my metabolism, and now it's like a snail.
You were still so gorgeous, though.
Thank you. So are you. Listen, we're sober and we are beautiful women. We are strong women. We have overcome adversity. And we're using our story to help other people overcome their struggles. You know what I mean? At 21 years old, you are going to be able to change so many people's lives by sharing your testimony and how far you've come. You know, meth addiction is no joke. It is fucking scary.
It really is. I was actually born addicted to it. My mother shot up in the hospital bathroom right before popping me out. My birth mother actually overdosed on meth like a week ago. But like my mom uses it, my dad, I have 6 brothers. We all got separated because CPS got involved. I live with one of them. That's it. But my older brother, he's a meth addict. My grandpa, he's a meth addict. Like, it just runs in the family. It's crazy.
Yeah. How did it affect you having CPS take you away? Did your mom try to get sober?
My mom, she tried after her 7th child, which was my youngest brother, who actually passed away 3 days before my 21st birthday. He was 9. She didn't care. Or let me reword that. I don't want to say she didn't care, because in addiction, like, it's not that they don't care, it's that they're sick. She was just too sick. And then after that, she just kind of gave up after they took away her 7th kid, because she kept having kids, because her mentality was like, I'm not going to fight to get my first one back. I'm just going to get pregnant again. Let me see if the state keeps it. Kept getting taken away. And about a week ago, my mom, because I had to cut her off back in May, I got back in contact with her back in July, because she was the one that called me and told me my brother passed away. And then we were dealing with all the legal stuff behind that, because it's just something that shouldn't even happen. And so all that has to go to court. But I just had to cut her off again, because she told me that she wishes that I was still hooked on it, and she told me that she wished that it was me that died instead of my younger brother. So
Well, I will tell you this. I want to tell you something. It's not anything because of you. Your mom is incapable of of being healthy and being a mom to you. It's not because she hates you. It's not because you're a bad kid. It's not because she didn't love you. It's because she's incapable of showing that. And when I hear, this is one thing I want to talk about because I have so many people. I lost my son to Child Protective Services when he was, 1 year old, and I fought like hell to get him back. And the day that my son got taken away from me was the worst experience of my whole entire life. Yes, I used drugs and I gave birth to my son under the influence of methamphetamine. I was high when I gave birth to my son. And I am ashamed of that. I beat myself up every day for that, still to this day. And I hurt inside because I worry so much about my son and his well-being. But I have more and more girls and guys that I am following and watching on here who their parents didn't get sober like I did. And they had to go through addiction as young kids watching their moms and dads under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Like having that experience, you were basically trained to become an addict because you saw your family doing that for so long and being in and out of the system like that. And so the fact that you've been able to overcome that after being in that for so many years, like that's a big deal. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Like no child should ever not be able to depend on their parents,
It's okay, because like at the end of the day, it's only made me stronger. Like my adopted parents, like I only live with my adopted dad now. Adopted mom got kicked out because she was abusive. They got divorced when I was 13 because they said the divorce was because of me, because of the abuse. I know it wasn't my fault. Every single night I have to sit here and watch my dad drink alcohol. I don't know if you know what Klonopin is or not, but he pops those with it. And I'm pretty sure you know alcohol and benzos. No. So every night I have to see that, and I still stay sober. I'm just like, what the heck?
Good. Because staying sober, you'll have a life. You'll be able to grow up and be a mom and have kids and be married and have your own house and have a great job. Like that's what you want to be able to do, is be successful in life. And if you're using drugs and alcohol, kiss that shit goodbye. You know what I mean? And you're beautiful.
Exactly.
21 years old. You are literally a baby. You are ripe for the picking, girl, ready to conquer the world. Good thing you got that addiction kicked in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your chance. You got the world at your fingertips now.
You are so right.
It's true. Shit, I wish I had gotten sober at 21. Fucking hey, dude. If I had got sober at 21, I'd be famous by now. I'm telling y'all right now. I would be famous. I would have written a book. I would have been on a movie. I would have been doing all kinds of stuff. But damn it, I didn't get sober until almost, 30 something years old. So you're doing the damn thing. Take this and run with it. Use this opportunity. Don't waste any time. You're going to be successful, Bailee. I'm really proud of you, and I really want you to know that I appreciate you for coming up here and sharing.
Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me share my story.
Anytime, girl. If you want to come up here, again, we can do a separate live where you come up and you share the whole thing. I would love to get more in depth about your family and growing up.
I would love that. I would love that so much.
Okay. Send me a DM and we'll schedule you for an evening where you can come and share. Because honestly, like I want to have someone come on to share what it's like to be the child of somebody that struggles with addiction and that ends up becoming addicted too. So please send me a DM so I can get you scheduled for one of these nights, okay?
Yes, of course.
All right, girl. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'll talk to you later, okay?
I love you too. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, baby. See you later.
Peace.
Okay. Tiffany's coming on now, y'all. Hey, girl.
So, Bailey's story. Okay, I needed to hear that. I was like blown away because, fuck, I was that mom, and I just like, holy shit, it like hit me so hard. Like, I don't know, it's just crazy that I was that mom for my kids, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was hearing her share. I was like, oh, I used drugs. I gave birth to my son. Hi. Like, when you hear a little girl saying that, it's like you can picture that being your kid. You know what I mean?
How fucking strong is she? Like,
Yeah.
to pull herself out of that life, wow, with no one helping her, man. Like, my kids were heading down that path so quickly, and I can't wait for you to share. I was so excited when you were like, oh, can you share more of your story? Because I really believe that's going to be good for me to listen to. Because, you know, knowing that like you literally put your kids on that path is really cool. I mean, it's really interesting. It's not cool, but it's cool for me to hear a story.
Yeah, I
That's
totally
so,
understand.
yeah, that's so relatable. And being the mom, like you said, you understood, you know, like giving birth, and it hit me hard. But another thing I kind of just wanted to share is I'm like extremely codependent, like really codependent. And my husband's on vacation. Well, not, I call it vacation. He's on work trip.
I'm codependent too, just so you know, so I understand.
Yeah. I think both addicts do, right? A lot of us are pretty codependent. But so like he's gone on a work trip. I call it a vacation because it feels like vacation. But anyways, it's been really like comforting being in your lives every night. So
I'm happy. That makes me happy that I can, like, honestly, I love doing this. And I just want, like, honestly, I just want to help people. And so I'm going to be honest with everybody in here. Like, the last 2 weeks, I've been struggling so much because I've been getting attacked by so many women on this app. And it hurts.
Oh, people nasty.
Because all I want to do is share and help people and do what we're doing right now. Like this
and
right
you're literally
now, this
doing
is
it.
the fucking shit right now. This is
yeah,
amazing.
you're doing it.
You
like
know?
Literally what just went down and transpired is going to keep me sober for a week. Like, I know that, you know, just listening to her story, I can guarantee I can get a good solid week off of that story.
Yeah, I totally
and
understand.
I'll keep listening. And I'll keep listening to you, and it's all amazing. Like, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I'm so codependent that before, when my husband would go away, like my husband was, we were living far away from here. My husband's dad was really sick, and with cancer, and I was using so much, and I was so codependent that he wanted to go visit his sick dad, dying dad, and I was screaming at him, calling him a piece of shit loser because I wanted to be with him.
Yeah,
and And now I look at that and I actually used the whole time he was gone. I went and I made sure I got, because normally he would have all the dealers' numbers. So I made sure I got everybody's number before he left, checked his phone, and I stuck a needle in my arm the whole weekend. And honestly, it was like, it's just nice to sit here on a live stream when my husband's not home, not even thinking about that, because I have like you putting a different topic in my head.
Yeah.
And it's cool. So you are helping a lot.
I totally understand though. Just so you know, Tiffany, like I was the same way. Like I've gotten a lot better with my husband, but I was really, really codependent to where I wouldn't let him go to the grocery store without me. I wouldn't anything. I had to be with him. I had no identity without him. I was his sidekick. So just in the last 2 to 3 years, I've been able to let go of that, pull back, and let him be his own person. What helped me was when he relapsed, because it was such an eye-opener for me of how sick I was and how much help I needed to get disconnected and be my own person. You know?
I totally relate to that, because my husband got in a car accident and I was sober 2 months before him. I had always enabled his addiction. The only reason I really used was to spend time with him. And now that I know that, now that I'm sober, and a big part of the reason, don't get me wrong, not the only, but, he got in a car accident. So two months before before I got sober. So he got in a car accident, and the car accident, like, I knew at that moment, like, he was driving around in a car without a license in my name, in my insurance. I was allowing him to do all this shit high as a kite. And I'm like, he is going to die if I don't let go. So I completely pushed myself from him. And I said, it's time for you to just step aside. And I was like, I said to my husband, I'm like, you either have to leave this house or figure yourself out. Like, I don't know what, like, and I said, I was pretty much kicking him out at that point. I was so frustrated. And I just wasn't talking to him. And he came to me after a few weeks, and he was like, had enough money to go to treatment. So it was honestly the best decision I ever made, was to push away and find myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And in that process, I went crazy codependent, started like meeting up with other men. Like, it was just a bad scene for me. But I was able to learn that I was codependent. I was like, why the fuck am I so obsessed with men? I literally Googled this isn't my finest moment, okay?
It's okay.
I Googled, why do I love my husband and men more than my kids? And when I Googled that, it went codependent. And I was like, fuck. And I know that's not my finest moment. It's not my finest moment. But I learned
You're
who I
being
was.
honest. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame in being honest. Like, people need
Agreed.
to hear that. You know what I mean? People need to know, because that's how other people are feeling. Other people are going through that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I didn't even know what the word codependent was. I didn't even know that was a word.
There is this book by this lady named Melanie Beattie, and it's called Codependent No More. And I have that. And then I also had this lady, her name's Anne, and she followed my YouTube channel for like years. And she was a lot older than me, like in her 60s, and she really helped me to get myself in check whenever my husband relapsed. She helped me because I was literally helping him stay high. I thought I was stopping him. I thought that I was fixing, managing, and controlling the situation. Yeah. But I was totally helping it. Like, I was, oh my God. I thought taking away his truck, taking away his debit card, and controlling him was helping. But it was actually keeping him from getting fired from his job. It was helping him stay employed still, you know?
It was I can see what you're saying. Like, you almost need to let that person self-destruct. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's like, when you strip them of everything that's like let them have their own independence or whatever it is, like, because really it's true. Like, we thrive off of other people as addicts. Like,
that's what I had to do. I had to let him self-destruct on his own. Are you on your backup account?
Yeah, I am.
When are you going to get your other account back?
Sunday. It's just nonstop.
Okay, so you guys, Tiffany is supposed to come on and tell her story too, because we were doing it, but she was like out and about, so it was like kept cutting in and cutting out. Like, I need to get your story too.
You've been banned. I've been banned. You've been banned. I've been banned. And I want to do it on both of our big accounts, so it's good for both. Get lots of people listening, or viewers. So, as soon as. Maybe we should, well, I can't do it Sunday night because it's my son's birthday, but maybe we should book for Monday night.
Whatever you tell me, I'm ready for you. I don't have any plans.
I don't plan on getting banned again either. I'm not really posting anything anymore.
I'm being really careful about what I post also. And I'm trying to explain to people I think that honestly, it's like this new update that TikTok has done that allows us to get flagged so easily. Now, I do think that some of us, like, I do think sometimes people report me. I think it's 50-50. I think it's people reporting me and then a TikTok thing also. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think, like, my account's so heavily reported. I mean, I share about, if this is a great topic too, like, I share about my sexual abuse on my TikTok, and it's such a greasy topic and a shamed secret that people hate it. So it's just such a target for people to report. So it's constantly getting reported, but you know what?
They want you to keep it a secret and be ashamed. I totally know, because that's what happens to me. People try to shame me for telling the truth about my stories, for telling the truth in my story times. And you're telling war stories, you're doing this. No, I'm sharing my true story. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. We're telling our true story. And that, it just makes me, it drives me
I know,
insane.
it bothers me a lot too, because we're just trying to do good in the world, and like I see that you're just trying your hardest to do good, and you're doing a great job. And I've thank you, and I've learned that regardless, Nicole, we are these people. Like, so even if we lose our accounts, we are still Nicole and Tiffany. Like, I can still build that account back, and so can you, because you've already done it.
Yep.
Like, we're that strong. And, that's something that, like, I'm talking about sobriety here. I'm 11 months sober, almost a year. I'll be a year at the end of this month. Woo-hoo. And,
that's awesome.
I'm learning my strengths and, like, who I am and what I'm becoming. And, like, that's a really cool feeling,
Heck
that is.
Your sobriety, the first year is the toughest, I feel like. And right before you get your year is when you start getting these, like, heebie-jeebies. Like, I feel like a week before I got my year, I was like, I felt anxious. And then I got it. And I was like, yes! You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, I can't remember the last time I went this long without drugs. It's been since I was pregnant with my sons, and I didn't use for half of the pregnancy with my oldest son. And then I didn't use at all for my second pregnancy, which by the grace of God, I don't know. Like, I was just, by the grace, honest to God, I always say that, by the grace of God, I was able to stop for at that moment.
I'm so proud of you.
But I wasn't for my first. Like, it wasn't as easy for my first. I did drugs for about 4 months, and then I quit. But then so that was the last time I had been that sober, and then right away I wouldn't even breastfeed because I wanted to get high away, like right away. So I wasn't in the mindset of it. I was just like, I just have to do this for them, and that's it.
Right. Right.
Like, that's my mindset. So with a mindset thinking, like, I just don't want to get high. Like, it's just so cool. Like, I can't even, I never thought I'd get sober. I honestly thought
podcast air? When does the first episode of your podcast come on?
Next week. We're not 100% on the date, but next week, one day.
I'm super excited for that, man.
Me too.
Like, I can't wait to listen to them.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I have goals now, which I never had until sobriety, and I want to move the fuck away from my abuser. I don't live very far. So my podcast, I hope it generates lots of listeners so I can get out of here.
I'm excited for you. How did you get somebody to, how did you get, like, somebody to pick it up? Like, what happened?
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because it's really not about picking it up. It's about you going out and finding it. You know what I mean? So I go to a media team and asked them what they thought of my idea. And he was like, this is a great idea. And he's like, and the fact that you're going to interview people with followings and stuff like that will get you listeners. And, like, I had a good business plan going in, and he said he might be able to get me a sponsor. So he was able to get me a sponsor for the first episode. And I was just like, I literally did it all myself, which the high Tiffany would have been, I can't do that. I'm too scared. I don't know how. I'm in there still scared. I was scared and nervous. But, like, it all worked out, and, like, I'm releasing my first episode.
So
it'll be on all the
Tiffany's podcast will be on all podcast streaming, the streaming things, right?
Yeah, all platforms.
And it's called Never Alone Support, right?
Yeah, Never Alone Support or Never Alone Podcast, probably. I'm not sure. It'll be under one of those two on all platforms.
When it comes out, y'all, I'll post about it here so y'all will know.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, I'll let somebody else share then. I was really nice chatting tonight, and we're going to do our whole session one day.
Monday, okay? I love you.
Monday. Okay, I'm going to book you. I love you too. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for keeping me sober.
Oh, you're welcome. You're doing it, girl. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
You're helping. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So I keep seeing Miss Whedon. I don't know what you have to do is you have to send an invite to join the chat. So I don't know if you have to have a certain amount of followers. I think you do, but you have to send a request to join the live. That's how you go live. Do you guys know if you have to have, I think you have to have 1,000 people following you to get on the screen, just so you know. I would love to have you on here though. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I was just, you know what I'm saying? There's like, but anyway, This has been such a good time, you guys. This was amazing. We will stay on for 15, 20 more minutes. If anybody wants to come up and share still, I will leave the floor open for 15 to 20 more minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to wrap up. While I'm wrapping it up, I'll wait until I'll see if anybody comes in. We'll do a meditation, a nighttime meditation. This is what I do at night, y'all, just so you know. And it helps me so much. I am so glad this live has been off the chain, y'all, and this is what it's about. This is what it is about here on Real Talk Recovery, okay? It is about unity. It is about kindness. It is about patience. It is about respect. It is about support. It is about love. It is about recovery, okay? We want to help each other, okay? I saw somebody come in and say something, negative. We ain't got no time for that, okay? We don't entertain negativity, okay? If that's what you want to do, you want to be negative, go somewhere else. There's a lot of channels where you can go be negative and cause drama and chaos. But honey, it ain't here. It is not here. Here we're actually trying to help each other stay sober. Here we're actually trying to change our lives. Here we're actually taking action, okay? So, boom chakalaka. What's up, Brody? Ask me away. Ask what you want to ask. I got you. Thank you, Diana. So, I'm going to read this. Brody, put your comment ask your question, baby, and I'll help you out any way I can, okay? Hey, Mike, I see you. Anybody that wants to come up and share is more than welcome to come up and share. If you want to share how your week is gone, if you want to share about your recovery, if you want to share a struggle that you're going through, if you just want to come up and say hi to everybody and then say bye to everybody, it's whatever you want. I don't mind. I love having you guys on. I love doing these live streams. That's why I do this every single night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so here we go. When we retire at night, retire, baby. That means go to sleep. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Okay, here's the checklist, y'all. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Okay, let's go through that checklist one more time. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? I can't fit everything I want to fit in here, but I am addicted to diazepam. How can I escape this? Brody, you need to find a physician that can properly taper you off of that medication. What state are you in? Okay, so, were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Are y'all listening to this? This is the checklist that I go through at night. Okay? This is how I keep myself resentment free. This is how I keep myself healthy. All right? All the things that I experience throughout the week, all the things that get thrown at me here on TikTok, when I go to bed, I reflect on how I treated other people, how I react to that, okay? And how I can change my behavior, because I have no control over what other people do, okay? The only person that I can change is me and my attitude, okay? So when I go to bed at night, I go through the checklist. Was I kind and loving toward all? What could I have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time, or were we thinking of what we could do for others, of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, for that would diminish our usefulness to others. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. Okay? It's easy peasy. Let go and let it out. Don't be holding those grudges. Don't hold those grudges. Let that out. Let that shit go. Let me just tell you something right now. If I held a grudge and I was beating myself up inside, I would never have any happiness. I would never have any freedom. I would never be able to come on here and share with you guys and have a good time like we are tonight, because I would just be letting it eat me away inside. Let me tell you guys, negativity is like having a rotten apple right in the middle of a bushel of beautiful red apples, and it just starts molding the other apples. And here goes one apple, and it starts molding, and then a worm starts growing through it, and then it goes over to the other apple, and before you know it, all the apples are molded and got worms in them and rotten. You know, that's what negativity, chaos, and drama is like. It seeps out onto other people. It's like sludge. Have y'all ever seen the Blob? Okay, the Blob, the old school Blob, where it comes up through the dock and it grabs the girl's legs and it pulls her through the dock. That's what negativity is like. It's like the fucking Blob, and it just fucking rips and pulls everybody that it can in with it. You know why? Because negativity, chaos, and drama is insecurity, and it all stems from fear. Fear. That's what it is. It stems from fear. Well, how can somebody that is so negative and full of drama and cussing people out and being mean to people be afraid? That's what it is, I promise you. Fear manifests itself in it's afraid of being afraid of rejection. It's afraid of not being accepted by people. It's a insecurity within oneself, okay? Comes out in the form of being negative and dramatic and hurting and harming others. But it all zeroes back down to fear, okay? Hold on. So Brody, there's a great boost. You're absolutely right. Very true. Yes, I'm telling you guys, fear is everything. Like, it will literally take you down through there, you guys. And I know, because I was like that. I know, you guys. Like, I'm not saying these things because I'm trying to, like, point out people or make people feel like they're less than. It's because I used to do that. Okay? And that's why I work so hard on letting shit go. Okay? Do you know how hard it is to try and be positive and help people when you are having people being horrible and mean and hateful towards you? It is hard, because deep down inside, guess what? Nicole is a people pleaser. Nicole just wants to make people happy. Nicole just wants to be liked by everybody. Nicole doesn't want to disappoint anyone. Nicole doesn't want to not be picked on the playground. Nicole doesn't want to be alienated from the group. That's what it all comes down to. But I have to pray every night and ask God to guide me and keep me, help me let go of the resentment that I have, and help me to stay sober and stay on the right path. Okay, because I have to find validation from within me from now on. I can't depend on other people for validation anymore, because that's not going to get me anywhere. That's not healthy for me. I don't know who's calling, but it's driving me insane. It hurts. It hurts. And I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and I know y'all have been where I'm at. And I know you guys, we all just want to be a part of. We all just want to be liked. We all just want to help each other. It's human nature to want to be accepted by one another. You know what I'm saying? It's human nature to be in a group of people here on TikTok and all these different creators that are making content and want to be a part of. That is why, you guys, I want you to know you are all accepted here. I want all of you guys to be here. I want you to know that I love you and I'm proud of you. And I think so highly of you I don't care if you're black or white or Asian or green or yellow. I don't care if you shot dope or drank alcohol, did cocaine, or smoked meth. Okay? I don't care if you were a drug addict and you were pregnant. I don't care if you robbed a bank while you were on drugs. Okay? What I care about is the change that you're making. What I care about is the person that you're trying to become now and how you're trying to turn your life around and be a better person. That's what I care about. And that's what I'm here to help people achieve. Okay? I am not perfect. Okay? I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to be a better person every single day. Okay? You guys are watching me right before your eyes live life and go through the hurdles of everyday life, going through the hurdles of having success and then being alienated by other people on the internet, told that I'm a piece of shit body broker and all these horrible things that people are saying about me that are complete lies. You guys are watching it happen to me in real life time, and you're watching how I handle it. You're watching how I respond. You're watching what I do with this. Okay? I could come on here and I could be hateful and mean, and I could be retaliating and making horrible videos about other people and all this bad stuff. Okay? What are we doing though? What did we do tonight? We came on here and we got in the book. We helped each other. We had people come on and share. We had the best time of our lives tonight. We are all staying sober and having fun doing it tonight. Is there anybody in here that didn't have a good time? Anybody? Anybody that did not enjoy themselves? Please speak now or forever hold your peace. You encouraged me to hold on, taking another diazepam tablet. Thank you so much, Nicole. Brody, so what state do you live in, Brody? I need to know that. Because the doctor I work for, he specializes in benzotaper. Okay? And so I had a great time too, y'all. I am so pumped. I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off because I'm having such a good time tonight. Like, this has been amazing. I am so happy to be here with you guys. Australia. Okay, so you're not in the States, but that's okay. If you're in Australia, Dr. B does do coaching. I'm just telling you that right now. But what you need to do, Brody, if you want to, you can connect with Dr. B and do a coaching call, and he can try to help you. Or you can find what you need to do. I'm telling you straight up. You need to find a physician that will taper you off slowly. Okay? Are you having problems taking it at an addiction, or are you just dependent on it? Are you having problems overtaking diazepam and like eating them all the time, or are you just dependent on the medication because you've been prescribed it for so long? If it's an addiction issue and you cannot control your intake, getting into a long-term like detox, like where you can go in somewhere and they're going to detox you over like a month's time, where you live on site and they monitor you, because the detoxes that they do, like they have been for many years, that are like 5 to 6 days long, that's not, you can't do that with benzos, you guys, and they're learning that more and more. Back whenever I went to treatment, okay, dependent, so that's perfect. Okay, good. Get with a doctor, okay, and get on a taper plan. There is a manual called the Ashton Manual that you can find on YouTube. A whole bunch of people recommend it, and you titrate down with that, and you're supposed to only take away like 5% or 10% at a time. Okay, so a lot of doctors, what they do, hey Ken, what they do is they take away like 25% of your dose, and that's way too high. And so what you need to do is have a doctor that will work with you and just take out like 5 to 10%. Okay, I know this because I listen to Dr. B. That's who I'm getting this information from. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a nurse. I'm just sharing with you guys what Dr. B talks about on his channel, and I'm just sharing with you guys the experiences that I have had watching Dr. B taper other people. Okay, it's a long, slow taper over an extended period of time, a year. Okay, if you're on 10 milligrams of diazepam, you know, going down 1 milligram at a time, and making sure that your body stabilizes at each drop. Okay, so a lot of people will say, oh, can I drop just 1 milligram every week? No. Hell no. Okay? If you're tapering, what you need to do, the key to a successful taper is allowing your body to stabilize at each drop. Okay, so that could take 14 days, 21 days, 30 days. I would say 30 days is a great, that's how I would do it. With my own Suboxone taper, I tapered down 2 milligrams every 90 days. I gave myself, my body 90 days to adjust to each drop. Okay, so that's another thing that you have to be okay with, is the fact that it's not going to happen overnight. Okay, a successful taper is not going to be like wham bam thank you ma'am ripping off the band-aid. Okay, it's going to be a gradual, slow process. But I promise you, if you do it like that, you'll be safe, and hopefully you'll come out with no, you know, lasting bad side effects or anything like that. I will tell you guys this. I have a girl who I'm trying to get an appointment with Dr. B, and she has been trying to come off of Ativan, okay? She's still prescribed it, and she's experiencing burning all over her arms, her stomach, her head. Like, her nervous system is like it's just not happy. And it's so bad that she doesn't want to be here anymore. Okay? And that's what a lot of people who are trying to come off benzodiazepines, some people are experiencing these horrible side effects, you guys, that are like nothing you've never had in your life. Okay? So please, you guys, listen to me. Low and slow, low and slow, low and slow. Okay? That's your best friend. And that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I had a blast. I'm going to go cry because I had such a good time, and I'm so grateful. I am just brimming over with gratitude. My cup is full tonight, y'all. Thank you so fucking much. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream tonight. Yeah, it was great. For those of you guys that are new to Real Talk Recovery, what a day. Welcome. Y'all came on just the right night, because tonight was off the chain, man. Off the chain. We have good live streams like this, but I don't know, tonight was just something else, y'all. Tomorrow night we are going live like we do every single night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys want to, tonight we talked about different struggles that we have. So why don't we go ahead and decide on the topic for tomorrow night, and then we'll do the same thing that we did tonight, and people can come up and share, okay? So, don't be scared, Ken. You're going to be okay. Okay? Just like I said, low and slow. Get with a doctor and take it low and slow. And if you need to do some research, like I said, look up the Ashton Manual on YouTube, because that has a lot of good information and stuff. One thing I'll tell you guys, if you're trying to come off benzos, do not watch other people's experiences. Do not go on YouTube and watch other people's stories about coming off benzos. Don't do it to yourself. You will freak yourself out. You are different. You're not the same as the person on the screen. If Jim Bob is having burning all over his arms, that doesn't mean Kin is going to have burning, Kiki is going to have burning, what was I saying, Kiki is going to have burning on her arms. Just because so-and-so's having diarrhea doesn't mean Brody is going to have diarrhea. Do not do that to yourself. More and more people call me and they are watching other people and they are freaking the fuck out. Okay? So do not do that. Do not do that. Watch educational stuff, information that can help you on your journey, and leave it at that. Don't watch other people because it will make you go insane. Okay? Find a great doctor that'll work with you slowly on a taper and you'll be fine. All right? And you know what? Let's say you're tapering for a year, and you get to the year and you get to the point where you're supposed to jump off and you're not ready to jump off yet. That's okay. Pause your taper and just relax. It's okay. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to jump when everybody tells you to jump. You don't have to. You can take it slow. Take it easy. Don't beat yourself up, okay? Hey, Gina, we're good, girl. You already know. What if your doctor literally pushes you to quit? I'm telling you, if you're not ready, tell your doctor that. Let them know how uncomfortable you are. And I'm going to tell you this. If you have a physician that's being like that with you and trying to rip you off, find another physician if you can. I'm telling you guys, you need to find a provider that listens to you and that you can connect with. That's really, really important for you to have success. So what do we want to talk about tomorrow, y'all? What do we need our topic to be tomorrow night? Tomorrow is Thursday night. So let's think. We've already talked about resentment this week. We talked about fear. We talked about acceptance, coping mechanisms. Okay, coping skills. New coping skills. Building healthy coping skills. How about that? What do y'all say? Okay. Coping skills. Not sure how to word this, but what about how to get active in recovery for a newcomer? 7:30 Central. How to get active in recovery. Okay, we can do that also because that's part of a coping skill that we're going to be having for newcomers. Okay. 7:30 Central. Okay, so confidence in being a new. So building your support system. I see a lot of new people in here. Yeah, Ariel, we were popping, locking, dropping it tonight. Okay. Confidence in recovery. Okay, so I think these are all great, you guys. That is 8:30 Eastern time, you guys. 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Central. Okay? Ooh, setting healthy boundaries. Setting boundaries. All right, you guys. When to say no. When to say no. I wish they would just let anybody come up and share, you know. How do I get to 1K so I can share? Let me see what you're at right now. Hey, you guys, go follow Miss Whedon so they can come up. Go follow Liz so she can come up and share, okay? Liz, just post content, girl, okay? If you're in the recovery community, okay, so if you guys are in the recovery community and you're trying to get to 1,000, post content, man, about recovery. Let the recovery people know that you're here and that you are trying to get to 1,000. If you guys want to, like, we can go. So the reason I do the live stream here on TikTok, you guys, is because so many people can rock bottom. Okay, so many people can come in and out. A lot of you know, it's just really convenient because TikTok like pushes the live out. Okay, that's why I do it here on this platform. What I can do, listen to this. I can put my text now number in the comment section. And if you don't have 1,000 followers, you can call that number and I'll put you on speakerphone and you can share. Do you want to do that? Does that sound like that's something we can do, and that way you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, I'll put a phone number in the bio for you guys to call me on. I'll use my husband's phone to go live. I'll put my text now number in the comment section, and anybody who doesn't have 1,000 followers can call that number and share. Okay, it's just a simple text now number. I'll put it in the chat now so y'all have it. I've had it for like ever. It's the Real Talk Recovery text now number, 991-5149 RTR. Okay, that is the text now number that I have, you guys, for anybody that needs to know. So that's what we're going to do. That way, hey girl, hey Viking mom, that way you guys, yeah, Ariel, you have to have 1,000, girl. Try to send me a request, Ariel. Yeah, we're innovating, honey. 501. So here's the Real Talk Recovery text now number. 501-991-5149. 501-991-5149. Okay? And tomorrow we're going to talk about coping skills, how to get active in recovery for a newcomer, confidence in recovery, setting boundaries, when to say no, and rock bottom. Okay? So we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, and we'll probably be on here for like 2 or 3 hours. You know how it is. And we'll let everybody, we'll stay live tomorrow night until everybody that wants to share gets done sharing like we did tonight. Okay? So I will see you guys tomorrow night. I love y'all. Be good, okay? Thank you for being here. Oh, I had so much fun. I don't even want to say goodbye. But